Hey guys, what's up? It is SiberianHuskyFan, and I'm going to be showing you how to clean a Game Boy Advance SP. Now, as you can see, this one is in pretty rough shape. This one, I am actually going to be, not modifying, but I got a new shell for it because, as you can see, this one, I am not going to keep it in. But I will clean all the parts and everything. Just not going to put it back in the same shell. I am instead putting it in a white shell with black buttons instead of the buttons they gave me, which are these gray ones. So we are going to start with this cleaning. So first thing you are going to start with are your screwdrivers. I know I have an extra one here. This is a smaller Phillips head. You can't really tell, but it is a smaller Phillips head, which is this one. And you are going to need a tri-wing screwdriver for these Nintendo consoles. So the first screws you're going to want to remove are the 4 that you can see here. Let's focus here. And the one to the battery cover, as well as the one down here with your tri-wing screwdriver. This one is a Phillips head, so be careful with that one. Once you have completely unscrewed everything, including the port to your battery, remove that gently. And here's your battery cover here. And then your battery, physically, that's in there. You can just take that out. And this one actually kind of needs a little bit of a cleaning, so I'm just going to touch it up a bit. I'm not going to soak it or anything. And then what you have under here is one more screw that you have to get to completely remove the bottom half of the system. So we are going to do that with a tri-wing screwdriver. Alrighty, once you have taken all of the screws out, you can gently just take off the bottom half here. And there's your motherboard. On the back half here, you have your L and R buttons that are still there. They still have their pegs in and everything. If you want to, when you clean this, you can take them apart. There is a spring there, so be aware, as you can see in there. As well as there's this little piece in here that sometimes will come out. So just be careful and keep tabs on them. I'm just going to put this over here. And now we are left with the rest of the motherboard. You can also remove your power switch that is down there. Do not lose that. Alrighty. So now you have 3 screws to remove on the motherboard to get the motherboard off. 1 up here and 2 down here. And you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver for this. Another thing you want to be aware of is this is the cartridge slot. So if you want to, you can clean it out. There it is. And this is the power switch that has been giving me trouble. So I'm going to fiddle around with it in a bit. But I will say this. Once you get your 3 screws up, just be gentle because there is a ribbon cable down here. And you want to take the 2 tabs there and push up on them and gently remove the ribbon cable. I'm going to do that in a second, but I need both hands for this, so hold on a second. Alright, I detached the ribbon cable. Here it is. And here's the motherboard. Now sometimes whenever you take off the motherboard, some of the rubber pads stick. That's fine. Just be careful because your buttons are loose. So you're definitely going to want to clean these, especially since these are super extra, well, they're not super extra dirty, but they're dirty and it needs cleaned like that. That is sticky from Pop. Just, there you go. And let's see what this has. Not much. This is the speaker, which you can easily pull up on. But I kind of need both my hands because it's still kind of glued in there. So what you would probably want to do is either get a fingernail in there or like a little spudger and just gently pry it off but just be careful because it is a speaker. And also you have your brightness silicone piece and all your buttons here. So what I'm going to do here is just gently drop them onto my hand, and I got a couple of them out. Some of them are sticking due to the pop, probably. Got the B button. And I will get this last button as well as the speaker. So here is why my speaker was sticking, is because there is so much soda on there. But I got it all out. Here it is. It doesn't look like it's been affected by it, but here's the D-pad, which I pried off of its rubber piece, as you can see there. So next what you would want to do is carefully under your ribbon cable, there's a Phillips head screw there. You're going to want to remove that. And this plastic hinge piece up here, actually it's right here, I'm trying to make sure, yes, it's this one right here, is going to come off once you unscrew it. And then you have better access at removing your ribbon cable, as well as we'll work on getting the screen out. So let me just get this Phillips head screw out and we will work on the screen. Alright, I got the piece off, and here's what it looks like. There's your ribbon cable sticking out there. So next what you would like to do is you're going to want to remove these 5 rubber pieces that are on your system. Now, looks like someone tried to get these at one point and probably failed. So he really screwed up the top of this system. So I'm going to have to get one of my pocket knives and just gently pry it up. I wouldn't suggest doing that. I'd suggest probably a flathead screwdriver. A small flathead screwdriver would be your best bet at a safer version. Just be careful with where you're pointing it. You want to be careful when taking these off because these are stuck in there. So just keep in mind that those are in there and don't hurt yourself when doing this. So I'm going to take these pieces off, and there are tri-wing screws that are holding this screen together. So I'm going to take off these plastic pieces. Alright, one thing I'd like to point out that I'm wrong about is they weren't tri-wing screwdrivers that were holding the screen in. They are Phillips head screwdrivers, so that's easy. Just use a Phillips head screwdriver and remove the 5 screws, and we will get on to the next step, which is removing the rest of the shell. Alright, what you can do after you remove the 5 screws is just gently take the bottom half off, or should I say the top half that's facing towards everything else. Whatever, it's off. So here is the back of the screen, and gently shimmy the ribbon cable out of its spot, and here is the screen. Now I am going to be replacing this plastic piece that is completely messed up here and fingerprint ridden, but here is the rest of the shell. Now what you can do from here is you can clean it. I probably will do a cleaning section of this. It's just that it's not going to be now because I'm going to start working on putting the Game Boy together. So next step, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove the hinges that are in here. Now, I'm going to point this out. This is my least favorite part of disassembling a Game Boy, is the hinges. They are a pain in the ass to remove. You have to get all these pieces down. I have had so many where they have broken or just haven't been put in back or are taken out right because it is so difficult. But I've done it a couple times. This isn't new for me, but I just wanted to give you warning in advance because it is a pain to remove these. It's why I really dislike disassembling Game Boy Advance SPs. But we are going to get on with this, and we will head to the next step once I remove the hinges off of this thing. Alright, so this is what it should look like once it's all taken apart. Here are the hinges. They are actually intact, which that's a first for me. So what you're going to want to do here is you can easily take off the plastic piece at the bottom there and replace it with, and you can reuse the hinges. So I'm going to take off the little plastic pieces, and we are going to get started on putting this all together into a new shell. Alrighty, so what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to clean up and soak your plastic pieces. So I left a big bowl of soapy water for the main system parts, and then I left a smaller cup for the smaller pieces. Now the soap I use is soap that you can easily get. It's Dawn dish soap, and it could be any scent really, and it really gets anything out. It's really good. It just really dries your skin out, that's all. So all you gotta do is put in your plastic pieces and let them soak. I'm gonna see how I can do this easily for the last couple pieces that are on top there. Alright, so I just put these in there, and one of the buttons fell on the floor. I can see it. It's over here. So you just put it in hot soapy water, and you want to let them soak 10-15 minutes depending on how dirty it is. And we'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes to let everything dry. Alrighty, so what you're going to want to do after the 10 minutes are up, or you're going to let everything dry. Now, since I am modifying the other Game Boy and I'm putting it in a whole new shell, I'm just going to let these pieces dry while I go set up and get ready for the new shell. So we're going to get that all set up, and we will be moving back over to where we were. Alrighty, I'm getting ready to apply the new screen, but I wanted to show you guys the differences between a legitimate Game Boy Advance SP plastic piece, and here's a completely brand new one. So you can see in the light that even though it says Game Boy Advance SP and it's in silver, it doesn't really gleam too much. Now with this one, it's a little bit lighter and it kind of shimmers in the light, so you can definitely see that there's a difference. But I just wanted to show you guys differences between a real Game Boy Advance SP plastic piece and a completely brand new one that they will give you for a couple bucks. So I'm just going to apply this one to this, and we will be on our way to the next step, which is assembling all this. Alrighty, so once you have the screen all put together and everything, we are now going to stick it into this piece here where it will attach with the main motherboard side, obviously, as well as you'll have your hinges put in as well. So you'll just gently just put it in where it's supposed to go, and also put in your hinges, and screw in your screw here for your piece that hides your ribbon cable so it doesn't get messed up. Alright, the next step you're going to want to do before you put all your buttons in is you're going to want to put in your motherboard. It is going to be a little bit harder to put in your motherboard, or I'm sorry, your buttons in when your motherboard is in, but I promise you it'll be a lot easier than when your buttons are in first, because they will be falling all over the place for you to try and put this in at the awkward position of this way with the ribbon cable and it not giving you much room. You have to be careful with trying to reattach your ribbon cable to your motherboard. So I'm going to put in the motherboard, and then I'm going to put in the buttons, and I will show you what they look like from there. I am also going to put in the 3 Phillips head screws into the same spots that they were in before. Alright, one problem I did notice with the buttons is you see the A button there, and you see where the grooves are for where the button is supposed to be in. Those grooves do not match up regardless of how much I try. So whoever made the mold for these, either A, did the buttons incorrectly, or whoever made the shell incorrectly. So it's either or of the parties, so I'm probably going to have to end up buying either A, another set of black buttons, or B, just settle for the ones I have right now, which is what I'm going to do. But I will buy another set of buttons because this pisses me off. I mean, honestly, this should not be this hard to make a couple buttons. Alright, another problem I noticed with the black buttons here is you see how this is all crooked and everything and so messed up. It will not even close the complete back part of this system. So I had to put on the gray button for this. So I am not very happy with whoever made these buttons because they made them very shitty. And look at that. It is so crooked. It should not be like that at all. That is not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be straight on the things there. So A button and R button were completely messed up, but other than that, everything else was fine. So we're going to put the rest of this system together, and it'll look funny for a bit until I can get the buttons, but we'll have a system together. Alrighty, so here's the finished product. I know it looks stupid with some of its buttons and everything, and I even had to change the power switch because guess what? Again, whoever made the black buttons really didn't do a good job of doing it to scale because it was way too tight and it would actually not even move when I had it in the correct position that it was supposed to be in. At first I thought it was in the incorrect position, but no. Whoever just made the black buttons really just sucks at making buttons because A button is incorrect, power switch was incorrect, and the R button was incorrect. But all the others were fine. But I got everything together, the stickers, and even the Nintendo logo on the top. And it is a nice white system. There we go. Sucker turns on and it works. Again, it's still finicky on the power switch, so there's still some stuff I gotta do inside, but otherwise it turns on and it works fine. It's just that it had crappy buttons and everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the cleaning and new shell for this Game Boy Advance SP. But I just wanted to get this video out there because a lot of people have been requesting it and everything. So that is how you disassemble and reassemble a Game Boy Advance SP, as well as clean it and also put in a new shell and mod. And also to show you what crappy button makers do. So that was it. Hope you guys enjoyed. See ya!